Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. This is my review, non-spoiler review at first, and then we'll talk about the ending at the end, so don't worry about that. This is brand new Cherry Flavor, a new Netflix original limited series. Do give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet, but for now, let's jump in. Lisa Nova, an aspiring film director in the sun-drenched but streamy world of 1990s Los Angeles, embarks on a mind-altering journey of supernatural revenge that gets nightmarishly out of control. There is 8 episodes, they range about 45 minutes apiece, and it's one of those series that I looked at and thought, I'm not sure I'm going to give that a go. I'll chuck on the first episode and see what I like. 5 episodes later, I've absorbed them, had to take a break, and then watch the rest, and thought to myself, wow, that was quite a ride. And how you really explained it, because that synopsis doesn't really do it any justice. If you took David Lynch, Cronenberg's work, and you mixed that up with a bit of supernatural witchy stuff, set it in the 90s, have a great score, get those neon colors bright, get that cinematography and lighting just right to add to the atmosphere, it's the perfect binge watch for a Friday the 13th evening and maybe the weekend. And I have to say, I was thoroughly entertained by this series. We live in a world now where we are drenched with TV series that are just coming out from all streaming platforms, and a lot of them are YA, drama llamas, and there does seem to be a cornucopia of stuff that just kind of gets by, that gets greenlit because the networks know that, the streaming platforms know that we'll watch them. And some of them are okay, so I'm not just coming down hard on it, but very rarely do you come across a TV series that has been given the green light to be as creative as they want, that has a source material, because this is based on a book that is adapted seemingly really well, and they have allowed them to be as adult as they need, because this series has it all. There's sex, there's gore, just supernatural stuff, and really creepy moments, the weirdest sex scene I've seen in probably years. It has it all, and it has its R rating or 18 depending on where you are in the world, for a reason. And it's also a builder, so it doesn't just go bam, now we're going to do the jump scares. It's not that sort of scary thing. It builds on that story, giving you backstory on our characters, and the acting here is really fantastic. But for one stands out to me. Kino, who plays Boro. There are a few actresses who I could see playing this role, but not at that quiet creepiness that she allows for you to see through her eyes, her facial expressions, her demeanor. It all comes across so well. So in this fantastic cinematography that we have, and the storytelling that's allowing us to figure out the puzzle pieces, not all the way through, just bits by bits, giving us enough tantalizing story to kind of grip our teeth into, is this actress who encapsulate this Goro, I'm thinking Boro from Mortal Kombat, Boro character, and she plays it so well. There's little moments the camera shows us as well from her character. You see her fingers are slightly deformed and bigger than they should, and pointed. Right from the beginning you get there's something not quite right with her. Right from the beginning you think, well, she must be a witch and she's into some sort of stuff. But then you're kind of trying to guess, is it just like weird potions? It gives you that first few episodes until the supernatural stuff is quite evident. And I really enjoyed the ride. Although it does keep you going, what is this about? What is this story actually about? And it is basically about people getting revenge on each other. It also shows that there's no real black and white. It's one of those stories. It's not like you're the good guy and you're the bad guy. Is we all do kind of crappy things, and now there's consequences for them. And you put that kind of storyline, the rags to riches story, the people coming to Hollywood trying to create their name in stars, want to be a great director and actress. You add all that, and you have that supernatural mix, and it just turns out something really interesting and unique. And that's what I'm looking for these days. There's so much to contend with for our time these days that you really have to kind of be picky about what you're watching. There's stuff that you can put on the background and you just know it's going to be okay, but it won't stick in your mind. You'll forget it in a day. This one I feel like is going to mess with your mind. If you like really creative stuff, but there's something that is quite bonkies, but really out there, really going for those kind of Cronenberg moments or those Lynch moments, and then having a great score and that color palette that really kind of messes with you, I think you're going to find this entertaining. I do feel like this will be set for a certain demographic though. You got your adults, your really people that maybe like something that's just not quite in the norm. That's probably me. Something that's very creative that you like, kind of lean into. That is me. But I think some people might find this just too artsy, or just too much of what is going on. No, doesn't really make sense. That kind of stuff, you may turn you off. So that's your warning for the series. I think it's an A, straight up A series. I would have loved to see more, although it's a limited series because it's based on a novel. I don't kind of want a second season, but I could see where they could develop it. That often happens with, we've struck gold here and now we're going to force a second season. I would like to see what would happen if they did another story, because there is scope for another story. But I'm not sure we should get one. So that's my review. I'm going to talk about spoilers and the ending now. So that's your warning. Throughout the 8 episodes, we find out that Bora, obviously, they find out that the body that she's wearing is Jennifer, and it's not actually Jennifer herself. She's just the skin suit that has been controlled by this entity that has been living seemingly for a very long time. And every decade or so, she needs to swap out because those bodies degrades, and she's using different types of potions and magics, and she can seemingly just will stuff. She takes what she needs from your soul or from your talent, and you produce that when you make a deal with the devil. This is a cautionary tale. And you see those kittens that are produced, and she's taking the power basically from her bloodline, especially our main protagonist. You see where she gets syringes and she's putting them in bowls and drinking all of that, and you're like, whoa, this is dark stuff. But you understand eventually that it's this entity that is jumping from suit to suit. But when there's a powerful one, which reminds me a bit of The Shining as well, actually, or maybe more the sequel, the host needs to be willing, and so that is basically why she's been looking after our main protagonist pretty much throughout, kind of buttering her up, making her healthy, getting rid of a bullet when she's been shot. We see her trying to force herself, but that won't work, and so she has to come willingly. When that doesn't work out, she has the eye lady who says, please use me. And for the moment she said no, but we know when she gives her that one look where she's so besotted with her that she's going to take that suit. We also see our main protagonist going back home to where her mother said to her, this is what I look like, come back. So we have this whole big cliffhanger ending where she's going to go home to her mother, because there's the story. It seems like they've been betrayed before. Bora has encountered her mother, from what we get a bit in the little bit of dialogue that we see her mother in that spirit form, in that really creepy form. That's that little bit know that they've encountered each other before. So what I think would probably happen in the second season, and why they left it like that at the end, is that she's going home and Bora is going to take her flesh suit, because if you go back and watch, I think it's episode 7 and 8, there are moments in there where we get a little bit of dialogue where we understand that she can't stay in broken down bodies for very long. What I think she means by that is, well, they will only last a few years. She needs one that is powerful, like she's encountered now. She's going to follow her back home, and we're going to have an encounter there, which I think could create a very interesting story for what would happen next. That's a story I would really like to watch, because they've built up this whole kind of supernatural element now. And so many other main cast members are dead. It's a very cautionary tale. Don't make deals with the devil. Revenge often doesn't go the way you want. Let me know where you think the second season could go. Do you think that's what was happening there at the end? Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live, love, and Tuesday.